welcome to my channel as well as it gets. My name is Azriel, and today I will be talking to you about the times I've caught the Holy Spirit. Now, before I jump into these experiences, I'm going to say, as a young child, I used to, as bad as this going to sound, I used to make fun of people who caught the Holy Spirit. There was one person in particular. Whenever we went to church, first of all, my family wasn't a every Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday church going type of family. We would go sporadically. But whenever we would go, this person would cast the Holy Spirit. And it was obvious that it was staged. And she would do the same thing every single time. And we would go home and mock her. And with all of that, I kind of disbelieved in the Holy Spirit, oh, it's a joke. And then, you see these infomercials in the church with these pastors putting their coats on people or putting their hands on people and they're all falling out. People making memes of them, looking like they're in wrestling or something. Therefore, it's kind of a joke to a lot of people, to be honest. However, for me, I had to be humbled real quick. At the age of 12, I had to learn real quick, no, it's not a game. And yes, it is real. You can catch the Holy Spirit. As a matter of fact, you can catch any spirit. People call it possession, But in the church, it's the Holy Spirit. You're being taken over by God, the creator of all creation spirit, Truth be told, that's the only possession that I allow, now that I know better. Now, back to when I was 12. So I'm in church, and just like usual, I'm bored, I'm ready to get out of there, and I'm just participating with whatever, if they say put your hands up and pray, that's what I'm doing. So at the end of the sermon, the pastor asked everyone to put their hands up, and she wanted to put her hands on everyone's forehead and pray over everyone. As she was doing that, she came and touched my head. As soon as she touched my head, my hands began to shake out of nowhere, and she kept going. I was like, what? What's that about? Well, at least she's, down the line now. And then the lady said, she's like, the Holy Spirit tells me to come back to you. She came right back to me. And I was like, oh my goodness. She touches me again. And all of a sudden, I just lose control over my body. I begin to cry and shake. I'm trying my hardest to contain myself because it's oh my gosh, my sisters are going to make fun of me when we get home. Out of all times, me, out of all people, me, I catch the Holy Spirit. This is real. This is no joke. And I'm just crying due to embarrassment. I wanted to speak in tongues. My tongue kept moving. But I kept clenching my teeth so I wouldn't speak in tongues. I was so ashamed. After it happened and I calmed down, the pastor came to me. She's like, I wanted to tell you something. God has a message for you. He wants you to know that you're the apple of his eye and that you have nothing to worry about. At the time, I didn't understand that. I was like, first of all, what does she mean that I don't have anything to worry about? And what makes me so special? I'm just a 12-year-old kid. But now that I'm older, I understand a lot more. I really don't have anything to worry about. Everything always works out in God's favor, which is my favor, Ever since that experience, I've never made fun of the Holy Spirit and people catching the Holy Spirit ever again. I caught the Holy Spirit and spoke in tongues later on in life for the second time. I think I was 22, 23, somewhere around there. And the preacher asked me, he's like, have you ever spoken tongues? And I looked at him, and as soon as he asked me that, it took me back to the first time I caught the Holy Spirit. And my mouth was trying to speak in tongues, but I wouldn't let out. So I looked and I was like, yeah, kind of, yeah. And he put his hand on my stomach and he said, well, I just want you to just let it out. And in that moment, tongues just came right out of me. And if you're wondering what tongues are, tongues is what they call the language of God. Tongues is not a language, is not a human language. There is no language on this planet Earth that is the same as tongues. It is your language directly connected to God. Only the Creator and people who are ordained with the Holy Spirit can understand and interpret the language of tongues. When I spoke in tongues, a cool air sensation just dropped down upon my head and down my body. And of course I was crying. I can't really and truly explain the feeling that I felt. But as corny as it sounds, like the power of love just fell down upon me. I really wish I had an interpreter present, but I do believe one day I will have a revelation of exactly what I spoke out that day. But yeah, those are the 2 times that I've caught the Holy Spirit. I haven't caught the Holy Spirit since then. Now, I'll have the Holy Spirit visit me and I'll get a message. Things like that all the time. Yeah, I'm always looking for it. But however, catching the Holy Spirit and losing control of my body or speaking in tongues, that's very rare for me. But it's definitely real, and I can tell you for myself and my experience, it's no joke. It can happen to anyone. Well, it was nice talking to you. If you have any other questions about my experience or about the Holy Spirit, just leave a comment down below. If you've caught the Holy Spirit or if you had experiences of your own, leave a comment down below. Well, it was nice talking to you. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.